In breaking news, both President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump have tested positive for coronavirus. And because people are horrible, they're happy about it. Because, we're so divided that when the president gets sick, I guess it's a good thing. This was announced really early Friday morning, so we're just now hearing about it unless you were awake in the middle of the night. And it comes just hours after Hope Hicks, a very close aide to the president, tested positive for coronavirus and started quarantining herself. And so because of that, President Trump and Melania Trump were tested just to see if they had it, and it turns out that they both tested positive for COVID. As a result of them testing positive, Mike Pence and his wife also got tested, and they do not have COVID. And in response to hearing that Trump had COVID, Biden is now getting tested as well, which makes sense because they were in somewhat close contact during the debate just a few nights ago, and so it makes sense that he should be tested as well. Now, before we go any further, I do need to point out that it's not great for Trump that he got COVID. Obviously, aside from the being sick part, he is overweight and he is fairly old. I'm not saying he's too old to do the job, but I am saying that he's in the category where COVID starts to get significantly more serious. His age range and his comorbidities, his pre-existing conditions, those things are not in his favor. Now, at the moment, it seems like he's doing okay, or else they would have told us something, which is good, but that may change in the future. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully he quarantines and he gets over it. He doesn't have any real significant symptoms, but we'll have to wait and see. Biden, just like Trump, is in that same age range. And so if he gets COVID, it could also become a very serious thing. Now, I don't like Biden at all. I don't want him to win, but I don't want him to get COVID, and I especially don't want him to get really sick from it, because that's not something I'd wish on anybody, even someone like Biden. The last thing we need in this election cycle is for both presidential candidates to get sick with COVID a month before the election. Things are already divided and already confusing. This would make it even worse. Now, unlike me, who doesn't want Biden to get COVID and would not be happy if he got it, people are fairly happy that Trump has gotten coronavirus. When I was looking at Facebook just this morning, I saw a friend post this article from BuzzFeed, which my opinion of you is kind of lowered when you share BuzzFeed news as a source. But regardless, someone commented and said the whole world is happy. And then I saw this post saying that Donald Trump and First Lady of the United States tested positive for COVID with an exclamation point as if it's a good thing. And a comment below said, "That's great news. I love it." If that's not enough for you, consider this article from NPR also on Facebook. Now granted, this article was published in the middle of the night, so it hasn't had as many interactions as it could have. But even then, there were 20,000 interactions, the majority of which were either thumbs up, laughing emojis, or hearts. So apparently people think it's funny, and they like it, and they love it, that President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump now have coronavirus. But it's not just people loving it, there are people who actually think it's a lie for some reason. On this same post, there were a number of comments saying that he was lying about it because it's a campaign strategy, or that he was lying about it because of the debate and he's going to have some sort of miraculous recovery. I don't know how far gone they are with Trump derangement syndrome, but that is a completely baseless conspiracy theory. Trump is not the guy who took his own test or got his own result or did all of that process. That's not how it works. He has White House physicians who do that stuff and then inform him of what happened. So if he is lying about COVID, wouldn't it be really easy for one of the White House staff to say, actually, that's not true, he tested negative? This is such a ridiculous conspiracy theory, but it just shows how much people really hate Donald Trump. But it's not just random people on the internet, it's actually journalists. We have from the Washington Post, Jennifer Rubin saying that he should resign immediately. Because, in the Constitution, it specifically says when the president gets coronavirus, he needs to resign, that he stops being president when he gets COVID. It's clearly there in the Constitution, so yeah, he should resign. We have George Conway, so that he failed to protect the country and he couldn't even protect himself. Or we have a journalist, Elisa Barr, who was out getting pedicures with her friends when it happened, and that it is a happy moment for many reasons. Or the Washington Post, when they deleted a comment that they tweeted out titled, "Imagine what it would be like to never have to think about Trump again." All of these journalists and these news organizations are not entirely beaten up about the fact that Trump has COVID. In many cases, they seem happy about it, they think it's justified, they think it's karma, whatever. To me, this just emphasizes how far gone we are as a country and how divided we are. Now, granted, looking through Facebook, most people were not necessarily sad about it, but they were saying that he hope he recovers, thoughts and prayers, those types of things. So I'm not saying that everyone is like this. Many of the liberal friends I have on Facebook were not happy about this and they hope that he recovers. So that is good, that's how it should be. How it shouldn't be is saying that Trump should resign, or that it's justified, or that he couldn't protect himself for COVID. One last time, if Biden were to get coronavirus and test positive for it, I wouldn't be happy about it. I don't want anyone to get coronavirus. And you shouldn't either. So the fact that Trump got it is not a good thing, in any way. It's not justified, it's not karma, it's not positive. It's a negative thing when someone gets sick, regardless who they are or their political position. But that doesn't stop people from being absolutely horrible people and jumping on this moment with praise. I hope he recovers fairly quickly, and then it doesn't alter the 2020 election too much, because it's already going crazy. We don't need anything more. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.